Hi everyone, this is Ellie. The Long Night Together event is now out. Make sure to check the event duration in your time zone. Per usual, I have the link to the official patch notes announcement in the description. So first, let's get started with the event. So in this main screen, there is an Illustra picture on the right. If you click on it, it's called Reliving the Past. So this is only for display purposes, so just choose whichever one you want to look at here. Also, the voice lines you see on the right here will be saved in date after the event ends. Now if we go back, so first I'll mention search for ink, this middle one here. This is the stamina farming stage for this event. So this is where you obtain the currency, which is this one, ink, needed to unlock the story stages, which I will introduce later. And these farming stages also drop another type of currency called the golden ink brush, and this will be used to buy items from the event shop. And so per usual, if we go into setup, we have event bonuses here. So if you're pulling on this times banner, remember to do so before you grind for materials. If we go back to the main event screen, so the treasure house here is the event shop. You will progressively level up the event shop up to level 6 after you fulfill the unlock requirements, which you can access in rules on the right here. And once you level up, you'll be able to purchase more items. And this time, Cael SSR is only obtainable through the event shop, so you cannot gacha for it, and it carries a bonus, so make sure to buy this early. Another important thing to mention is that this event shop includes shoulder doll accessories as you unlock more levels, and if you're interested, try to buy all 5 because they're not shared between male leads, and later you can only obtain these with buttons. So now let's move on to the event story, which is along the river. I usually like to introduce the event story first in my videos, but this time things are a little more complicated, so I put this section here. So first I want to mention that the story order is already set, so you cannot choose the male lead order basically. And in each map you will encounter different types of events. We can go back here. If we click on the question mark up here, you can see which kind of events there are. So you will need currency, which is the ink, to unlock the story stages. And the ink, as I mentioned, you obtain that through the stamina farming stages. And then the top right instance rewards you with these handkerchief scraps that allow you to unlock the voice lines. These voice lines are unlocked through the handkerchief scraps that I just mentioned, these instances right here. And you do that through Stitched in Love here. And if possible, try to use a full team, so 5 illustras of whichever male lead story it currently is, and this will increase your drops and also shorten the time it takes to complete a run. And if we go back here, and then the middle right is the instant, which is just the regular combat stage. It consumes stamina. And then the bottom, the raccoon spotted, is the challenge mode. You access that through Track the Raccoon here at the bottom of the screen. Similar to Azure Island's challenge mode, you will get 1 attempt per day. So you would go to start tracking, press the raccoon here. Each day you will have 1 attempt. These attempts do stack and you can quit midway. To get the maximum rewards, you need to deal 6 million damage, which means across the entire challenge duration, you need to get at least 461,000 damage per attempt. Of note, the enemy mechanisms and the buffs vary depending on the location. So make sure, see the buff up here, so make sure to read the description before attempting. This one has single target is buffed, or single target deal increased damage. Usually most people do get higher scores with AoE buffs. It's important that you kill the minions before they ult. And so the minions are usually the lower HP ones, that are on like the left and the right. Also important that you use this talisman. So press the defense button on locations you do not want to fight. So if defense is 100% at a certain location, that the raccoons will no longer appear there. Now, if we move on to the gacha this time, per usual, there is the rate of choice function. I already used it. If you wish for an SR, that one will be guaranteed in the first 10 pull. If you wish for an SSR, it guarantees that the first event SSR you get is the one you choose. And so, per usual, the specific rates are listed in the details here. Of note, this time at 170 pulls, you can get a Recolor Illustras selection voucher. So that is different from usual. So next, again, all comments are made from a meta combat standpoint. The text versions for these Illustra guides are already available in our community Discord server, per usual, link in the description. So if we go in alphabetical order, first, Ayn SSR Frozen Blade. This is a mediocre healer that provides some team utility, high base attack for a healer, but relatively low HP and defense, and provides slight survivability in emergency situations. Overall, skill priority, max 1, raise 2 as needed. Enlightenment priority is low because it's not a damage dealer. You can consider feeding Enlightenment enlightenments, but it's not recommended if your damage Illustras have not been fed first and or you are short on resources. And you can stack additional copies. In terms of the team comp, this does fit into a crit-based team, and then you can also pair with increase or guarantee effect hit rate Illustras for skill 1 reliability, and put in slot 1 for the attack buff on the ult. Again, that may change depending on your team. And other notes, generally you only need 1 to 2 heal SSRs in your box, so just pull as needed. Next, if we look at Cael's When Flowers Bloom, this is a single target that functions primarily as a survivability support, has relatively low base stats but high defense. It performs better on manual, and I guess you can potentially use it if you have 0 control Illustras. Skill priority wise, none. Enlightenment priority, very low. It's not recommended to feed enlightenments. You may stack or disassemble additional copies based on your preference or frequency of usage. In terms of team comp, if you have no other Illustras that provide control utility, you may consider putting this card on your team. Usually you want to put in slot 4 or later for the emergency healing from these skills. And finally, if we go to Lars, Miles of Lotuses, it is a solid supportive AoE that does not do much damage itself, but is core in crit-based teams. Low base stats, low ult damage multiplier, does rely on manual and also on skill levels. Skill priority wise, 1 greater than 2, but max both. Enlightenment priority is mid just because the defense down ult effects does increase with ult levels, so you can consider feeding enlightenments, but it's not recommended if you're short on resources, and you can stack additional copies. In terms of team comp, this really is the core of crit based teams, so you want to pair with Illustras with high base attack and or like crit rate and crit damage buffing skills. The main damage dealer on this crit based team should equip the Eden Reborn Picture set if able, or if you have it and have it built. For max benefit from the ult effect, you can consider pairing this with another AoE damage dealer that has a defense down ult effect, something like Lars's Ice Coconut and Salt and Clarence's Waiting Cat. The defense does stack up to 90% before it falls off or before you get diminishing returns. Put this Illustra in slot 1. Again, this does depend on your team. Lastly, I want to quickly mention that the new Recolor Illustras are available for purchase if we go to pack, and then the Recolor Illustras here. If you're planning on buying the packs, you'll get the most bang for your buck with the one that gives you 2, basically. Oh, this one, the TC Festival Recolor pack here. And these are applicable, or these can be equipped on this event's Illustras as well as all modern Illustras. Note that this is different from last time's Recolors, which those can only be used on Godheim Illustras. And that'll be all for the video. Please like and subscribe.